Good day, Saints. I wanted to catch you before you put the kids to bed, before you went to bed, and I wanted to do a reading. This comes from Daniel chapter 4 and Luke chapter 22. And at verse 2 and 3 from Daniel, I thought it good to shew the signs and wonders that high God hath wrought toward me. How great are his signs, and how mighty are his wonders. His kingdom is everlasting kingdom. His kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and his dominion is from generation to generation. And that's Daniel chapter 4, verse 2 and 3. And Luke 22, verse 37. For I say unto you that this that is written must yet be accomplished in me. And he was reckoned among the transgressors, for the things concerning me having it. And at verse 42, saying, Father, if thou be willing, remove this cup from me. Nevertheless, not my will, but thine be done. And I wanted to just say that, look how quickly he referred to the Father's will. Right after he asked his request and said what he wanted to say. How often is that with us that we do the Father's will? Sometimes we take our time. I'm definitely guilty of that. Oh, feel like doing your will today. Can I get it done another day? Because I do that sometimes. But much recently, and within the last few years, it's just been His will, His will, His will. Because in the long run, he has everything that's good for you, and even in the beginning, all the stuff is good for you. He's for you. And I want to talk about. I was watching this video on YouTube, and I want to talk about like marriage and relationships. And I'm not going to spend too much time on that because I'm gonna get back to the Bible. But just know when you're in your marriage and relationship, know that we as a people are individuals. So before you just jump right in or, talk about things. And don't be too concerned about what the other person is doing. And let me give an example because I already know what you're going to say. Let me give an example. You both know that you are individuals and you travel and you go places and you do different things and you meet different people and you may meet somebody you like and things may happen. So what I mean by that is before you start your relationship, before you jump into your marriage, before you start your friendship, things like that, oh, we just going to be, girlfriend and boyfriend and we just going to do this. Before you get to that point, have a serious and educated talk. That's what I mean. Talk about some things and be honest. Look, I drive on the road and, time to time I might get, one girl, two girls, something like that. You tell the girl that. The girl say, well, look, I do, I'll be over here and then, sometimes I do this. Because my point is, and let me say this very carefully, people do what they want to do. So the thing is, how are y'all going to come together for the better? That's what it really is about. How are y'all going to come together for the better? Don't worry about anything else, because all that other stuff is out there. I'm just trying to get y'all to think logical and think about some stuff because I get a lot of questions about this type of stuff. So I'm trying to get you to logically think, and I know what it is and what it's going to be because a lot of people, all right, you already here, no, I ain't planning that, so. I get it, I understand all that. I'm trying to get you to go to a higher place. Men and women, let's go to a higher place, a higher thinking, and, before anything happens, sit down and talk. I was in a restaurant with a female, and I was asking her questions, and she just, why are you asking me These questions that I want to know. My first question was, do you know Jesus? Yeah, I kind of know a little bit about. No, no, miss, no. Uh, do you know my Jesus like I know my Jesus? That's what I want to know. Why you asking me all these questions? Went straight to the second question. Number two, do you like to cook? Do you like to? So, she used to ask me a whole bunch of questions, all these questions, a whole bunch of questions. But I only had like three questions, and you know how that thing goes. But see, I like to know stuff, and I like to, learn stuff, and I like to complete challenges, and I like to be educated, and I like for things to be interesting, and I, want as much knowledge as the Lord can give me. So I like to know stuff. I want to be in the know, and I want to have experiences and make mistakes. And okay, we get past that, but let's continue to be in the know, and let's learn from it, and let's know stuff. Nothing wrong with asking some real questions. Hey, you a girl, you sitting at the table, you want to know some stuff. Be real with the person. You say, hey, be real, man. If you want to, do what you do, let me know. For the girl, you be attracted to the guy, and he got swag and all that. So, definitely that you want to ask those questions because you just want to be in the know. That way, that way you don't see. I'm trying to get you away from that worry and that excess worry. And what is this person doing? That's a lot of worry. Now, for some of you, that's what you do, and you do things a certain way. So, this may not be a conversation that's for you. Might not be for you. But for that, regular person, or want to think a little bit different, you wanna ask questions. Nothing wrong with asking questions. Nothing wrong with getting details. Nothing wrong with talking to people's family. Before you do stuff and things like that. Get as much information as you can. I'm speaking from experience and from other people's experience and from just basic common knowledge and spiritual knowledge. You wanna save yourself, like a headache or something like that. You ask a lot of questions. So I just thought I'd put that out there because every video, the one particular gentleman he does, he gets in the middle of people like relationships and friendships and things like that, and I understand that it's a thing that he does, and I understand that people do it, but if you already know, it ain't no point of kind of going down that route. Yeah, let's do that. Don't even you wasting your time, everybody else's time. So go back to the beginning and be honest from the beginning. You know, something happened. Okay, let's say something happened in the middle. Something happened in the middle of everything, and you wasn't planning for it. Okay, stop for a moment. Think. Okay, what I'm gonna do? All right, I'm doing some things. I like what's going on. So either you stop right then and there, leave everything alone, erase everything. We're not doing this no more. You're gonna put it behind you, or you say to the person, what it is, and tell that person what it is, and if you have to, get out that relationship because you're not doing your part in that relationship. Or that person wants you to stay, work it out. So you never know how these things work out. That's why I'm just offering advice and suggestions. It's not the way that you have to do it, but I'm trying to get you to think of a smarter way to do things, a different way to do things. There might be a different way that you could address the situation. You know. Um, so I just encourage you just do your best. You know. You see, the grass may look greener on the other side. Sometimes it is, sometimes not. It's all about what you're willing to risk and what you're willing to sacrifice and things of that nature. So just definitely be careful when it comes to relationships, merges, relationships, boyfriend or girlfriend, fiance, being friends, and then now you got the best friend and this and that. And sometimes the people be in a relationship, and the best friend wants you to hang out with them all the time. They say, well, what's wrong with that? And I say, there's nothing wrong with that, but the thing is, the other person is in a relationship. So the best friend has to really respect their, relationship. You can be a best friend. We ain't got to be turning it up every weekend, or that's another difficult situation. And I don't want to get too far into that as far as the best friend and the time frame and your relationship, because once that person in a relationship, that changes the nature of things. You ain't gonna be able to tear up the club every weekend. You ain't gonna be able to go out with your best friend every day. You can still call, y'all can still be best friends, but things are gonna change because of one person may be in a full relationship or a marriage or things like that. So you gotta really consider that. Then that might be a spinoff. Now the best friend want to get married or do this or do. So it's a lot that you have to consider when considering, best friends and marriages and things like that. So I'm not, like I said, I'm not going to stay too long on that. I want to get back to Bible, and I want to get back to how good the Lord is. I want to get back to how good that Jesus knew what he had to do and he did it. My, it's just such an honor to be in his presence. That's where I get my strength from, and my courage and my toughness from, because he had so much power, but he came down here and he submitted himself, and he could have called angels anytime he was doing a test or anything like that. Test in the wilderness, he didn't do it. He waited and he let the angels come and they took care of him. He could have called angels down from the cross, but I think one of them just kind of eased his pain, something like that. And that might have, don't quote me on that, because I just read that because I might have kind of jumbled that one. But what I mean is that my main point of that is that he could have called angels to get him off the cross, and he didn't. He could have called the angels to get the people who ever stoned him and stuff, and he didn't. But he wanted to accomplish the will of the Father, and that's just so powerful. And I encourage you to look into that will. Look into the will of the Father. Even when you're going through things, even when I was just like talking about relationship things like that, before I do one situation, like let's say I got something to do, I pray with first. Look, Jesus, see me through this situation. I don't know all the ins and outs. Hey, I'm about to do this. All right, let me do this and bless it. Before I do it, hey, let me do this and bless it, Lord, because I want to get this thing done. And if I'm struggling with it, it could be the smallest of tasks. Sometimes I got small tasks, and it's just like it feel more like a big task, and it feel overwhelming sometimes. But I say no. I can sit here, I can think, I can make it happen, and then I can definitely pray about it, because he can shift the narrative of your task. You think in one way, it happens another. And sometimes, like, I might be thinking about doing one thing one night, I pray over it, realize that this ain't the night for it, and then I might do it 2 or 3 days later, or the next day, or the next sunrise. So just be encouraged. That's what I want you to do. I want you to be encouraged. I want you to get in your word. I want you to study your word. I want you to put God first. Put God first in your marriage. It doesn't go your husband, then God, or your wife, then God. It goes God, and then your husband or your wife, and then, that's why we'll put God first, and put God first in everything you do. And things will be hard, and things will be challenging, and sometimes things will be interesting. But take it from me, he'll see you through. He'll see you through the good. He'll see you through the bad. He'll see you through them little gray areas that you like, whoa, what in the world is going on here? Hold the phone. Stop right there. So I was going to make this a shorter video, and I might break it down, but I might just put it all out there. But I just wanted to catch you before you got into bed, and just get you in tune. Go ahead, read a word, get on your knees, say your prayers, read a verse, find a verse for you. Talk to the Lord about what He wants to do in your life. And if you want to be saved, you say to the Lord, remember me. And you say, Jesus, I believe you died on the cross for my sins. Come into my heart and let me get baptized one day. In Jesus' name, amen. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. God bless you.